Hi friends, how are you? I think all are fine. So today I am going to tell you something about vapor power cycle which is very important in TE2. Before vapor power cycle, first of all we have to know about power cycle. What is a power cycle? Okay, so power cycle means which is continuously convert heat energy into work, that is called power cycle. Okay, so generally we are considering two types of power cycle. One is vapor power cycle and another is gas power cycle. In our subject it is vapor power cycle. So what is vapor power cycle? Vapor power cycle means in which the working fluid is water or which can change its phase from the liquid into vapor, that is called vapor power cycle. Generally where we are using this vapor power cycle? In steam power plant. Generally we are using the vapor power cycle for getting the electric energy. Okay, so why we are using the vapor? Because vapor is or vapor or steam is, we can find it very easily due to its low cost, availability and high enthalpy of vaporization. We are using the steam or vapor. Discuss about the steam power plant, how it is working, how we are using the vapor power cycle in steam power plant. Okay, so generally we are using Rankine cycle for the steam power plant. Okay, so first of all what is happening here? Water is fed into the boiler at a very high pressure. The high pressurized water is heated into the boiler which converts it into high pressurized superheated steam. Okay, the high energized steam passes through the steam turbine. Okay, then the steam turbine shaft is connected to the generator rotor shaft, which makes rotate the generator shaft and produce electricity. And in this process the steam loses its energy. The low pressurized saturated steam further passes through the condenser where it converts into water. The water further passes to the boiler and complete the cycle. So this is the total process where we can produce the electricity. I'll discuss about Carnot cycle. We know that Carnot cycle is a more efficient cycle. That means its efficiency is more than all the cycles. That's why we can call that Carnot cycle as an ideal cycle for all the power plants. Okay, so now we will discuss about Carnot cycle. It has four processes, two isentropic processes and two isothermal processes. Process 1 to 2, which is isentropic compression, then process 2 to 3 isothermal heat addition, then process 3 to 4 isentropic expansion, and process 4 to 1 isothermal heat rejection. Okay, so I'll describe about all the cycles in the next slide. Though we know that Carnot cycle has four processes, two isentropic and two isothermal processes. What is happening here? First of all, the compressed liquid or the saturated liquid goes to the compressor of the pump and compressed isentropically by a compressor to the first stage or initial stage. Okay, then next what is happening? The fluid is heated reversibly and isothermally in the boiler, then it expanded isentropically in the turbine and condensed reversibly and isothermally inside the condenser. Okay, so these are the four processes which is happening in the Carnot cycle. Next we will discuss about what are the problems, why we are not taking Carnot cycle as an ideal cycle for the steam power plant, why we are taking Rankine cycle as an ideal cycle for the steam power plant. We'll discuss why we are not taking Carnot cycle as an ideal cycle or in steam power plant as an ideal cycle, why we are taking Rankine cycle. Okay, so what is happening here? In Carnot cycle, the pressure of the working fluid is raised from the condenser pressure to the boiler pressure through the compressor. Okay, where in Rankine cycle saturated liquid, where in Rankine cycle the saturated liquid is pumped to the boiler with the pump. First of all, wet compression is difficult to achieve in real practice. Okay, so for that we have to make a compressor which will do much more work than a pump. Okay. Then the second thing, the heat addition process or the isothermal process in the Carnot cycle, whereas in Rankine cycle it is constant pressure or isobaric process. So isothermal heat addition would be very difficult to achieve during the superheating process, and if the expansion process start at the saturated vapor line, then what is happening, the turbine erosion problem will be there, because it will be not totally superheated, it will be in saturated state, so it will damage the turbine. Due to difficulties in Carnot cycle, we are taking Rankine cycle as an ideal cycle for steam power plant. Okay, so in Rankine cycle, 4 processes are there. One is isentropic compression in the pump, then that is 1 to 2 process. 2 to 3 process is constant pressure heat addition in the boiler, then 3 to 4 process isentropic expansion in the turbine, and 4 to 1 process constant pressure heat rejection in the condenser. Now we will discuss about the schematic diagram of the steam power plant or vapor power cycle. Okay, so how the processes are going on inside that steam power plant. Okay, so first one is process 1 to 2, which is, we know that is isentropic compression in the pump. What is happening here? Water from the condenser at low pressure is pumped into the boiler at high pressure. That means here from the low pressure it is converted into high pressure. This process is reversible adiabatic process. Okay, then process 2 to 3. What is happening here? We know that from 2 to 3 boiler is present where heat addition is happening here. Okay, so water is converted into steam at constant pressure by addition of heat in the boiler, because we know that inside the boiler some preheaters are there, superheaters are there, economizers are there, so it can give more heat to the boiler. Then process 3 to 4. Process 3 to 4, we know that turbine work is going on from process 3 to 4. Okay, so this process is isentropic expansion in the turbine. That means reversible adiabatic expansion of the steam is in the turbine. So what is happening here? It is converted from high pressure to low pressure inside the turbine. Okay, then process 4 to 1, which is constant pressure heat rejection in the condenser. That means condenser work. So what is happening in the condenser work? Inside the condenser work, heat rejection is occurring. That means condenser to convert the condensate into water. That means steam is converted into condensate water. Okay, so what is happening here? We know that inside the condenser is connected with the cooling tower, so it can reduce the heat inside the steam vapor power cycle. Okay, so first of all, process 1 to 2. What is happening here in process 1 to 2? Water enters the pump at state 1 as saturated liquid, and it is compressed isentropically to the boiler with somewhat high pressure, because though it is going to the pump, pressure is increases whereas the volume is decreases. Okay, so the vertical distance between state 1 to 2, we can say that work done by the pump or WP is equals to H2 minus H1 kilojoule per kg, which is its unit. Okay, then process 2 to 3. What is happening in process 2 to 3? Water enters the boiler as a compressed liquid, because it's compressed by the pump, so as a compressed liquid, and leaves as a superheated vapor at state 3. The boiler is basically large heat exchanger where the heat originating from the combustion gases is transferred to the water essentially at constant pressure, because we know that our heat exchangers are there inside the boiler which can give more heat to the boiler. The boiler together with the section where the steam is superheated. Okay, so here work done is 0 but heat addition is there. So Q in, we can say that Q in equals to H3 minus H2 kilojoule per kg. Then process 3 to 4. What is happening in process 3 to 4? Where the steam is coming from the boiler which is superheated vapor. At state 3 enters the turbine where it expands isentropically and produces work by rotating the shaft which is connected to the electric generator where we can get the electricity. Okay, so the pressure and the temperature of the steam drops during the process during the process, which we can say that here work done is there, but q in heat transfer is 0. So work done by the turbine Wt is equals to H3 minus H4, which we can say that its unit is kilojoule per kg. Okay, so next process is process 421, which is what is happening in process 421. The steam is usually saturated liquid vapor mixture with a high quality. Okay, because it is coming from the turbine, the steam is condensed at the constant pressure in the condenser, which is basically a large heat exchanger by rejecting heat, which is connected to the cooling tower, to the cooling medium from the cooling tower. It may be lake, river, or some cooling towers will be there. Steam leaves the condenser at saturated liquid and enters the pump, completing the total cycle, in which work done is equals to 0, but Q rejection is equals to H4 minus H1 kilojoule per kg. Then next we will discuss about the performance of the ideal Rankine cycle. Performance means first of all we have to find out the thermal efficiency, then total net work done, then steam rate, heat rate. Okay, so what is thermal efficiency? Thermal efficiency, how can we find out the thermal efficiency? We know that thermal efficiency equals to W net divided by Q in, or we can say that 1 minus Q out divided by Q in. What is Q out? First of all, Q out we know that it is done in the condenser, which is H4 minus H1 divided by Q in, H3 minus H2. Or we can say that W net divided by Q in. Q in we know that it is Q in equals to H3 minus H2, and W net means Wt minus Wp, work done by the turbine minus work done by the pump. Okay, so work done by the turbine, where the work done is going on in the turbine, 3 to 4 process, so it is H3 minus H4 minus work done by the pump is H2 minus H1. Okay, so we can find out the W net. This is the efficiency formula. We can find out from the Q in, Q out, and W net, Q in. Okay, then we will discuss about the steam rate. What is the formula of steam rate? Steam rate means it is, if we will consider about kilowatt hour, then it will be 3600 or 3600 divided by Wt minus Wp, which is W net. Okay, then heat rate, how can we find out the heat rate? It will be 3600 QH divided by Wt minus Wp, or we can say that 3600 divided by efficiency of the cycle, which unit is kilojoule per kg, kilojoule per kilowatt numerical, okay, in which question is given: consider a steam power plant operating on the simple ideal Rankine cycle. Steam enters the turbine at 3 megapascal and 350 degrees centigrade and is condensed in the condenser at a pressure of 75 kilopascal. Determine the thermal efficiency of the cycle. So for you remember, for all the questions, first of all you have to draw the TS diagram, because without TS diagram you can't do the numerical. Okay, so first of all you have to draw the TS diagram of the Rankine cycle. So what are the given data here? Condenser pressure, you remember, pressure is constant. At which point pressure is constant? Constant pressure heat addition and constant pressure heat rejection. Constant pressure heat addition is happening at which point? 2 to 3. So we can say that P2 equals to P3 and P1 equals to P4. So P1 equals to P4, it is given 75 kilopascal, and P2 equals to P3, it is given 3 megapascal, and temperature, which is 350 degrees centigrade, that is superheated temperature. We know that superheated temperature is at 0.3 megapascal. Discuss about the numerical. So how you have to write? First of all you have to write like state 1, state 2, state 3 and state 4, like we have done your energy analysis, like that you have to find out the answer. Okay, so for state 1, what is given? State 1 only P1 is given, which is 75 kilopascal, which is saturated liquid. In steam table two types of liquids are there. One is saturated and another one is superheated. Okay, so from the saturated table you have to find out the enthalpy for 75 kilopascal, which is P1. Okay, if we will find out the find out in the steam table, we can find the H1 and V1 or HF and VF, which is HF is 384 kilojoule per kg and VF is 0.001037 m cube per kg. So that is we got from state 1. Then state 2, what we have to find out in state 2? There also we have to find out H2. Okay, so for the first state 2, what is given? Only 3 megapascal pressure is given. Okay, and though this 3 megapascal is given. Okay, so we have to find out the H2. What is the formula of H2? We can say that H2 equals to H1 plus work done by the pump, or H1 plus WP. Okay, so H1 we know that it is 384.39 kilojoule per kg, but WP we don't know. So WP, how can we find out? WP is equals to V1 P1 minus P2 minus P1, or VDP, which we can simplify P2 minus P1. Okay, so V1 also we got from state 1, which is 0.001037 into P2 we have to convert it into kilopascal, because P1 is in kilopascal, so it will be 3000 minus 75, which we got 3.03 kilojoule per kg, which is WP. So H2 equals to 384.39 plus 3.03 is equals to 387.42 kilojoule per kg. Okay, then state 3, what is given in the state 3? P3 is given and T3 is given. So from the superheated table directly we can find out for 3 megapascal and temperature 350 degrees centigrade, what is the H3 and S3. Okay, so H3 is equals to 3115.3 kilojoule per kg and S3 equals to 6.7428 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. Okay, but remember that state 3 you have to find out from the superheated table, because that is superheated. Then state 4, what is given? We know that P1 equals to P4, so P4 equals to 75 kilopascal. So though this is isentropic process, S4 equals to S3. So first of all, what we have to find out for that? We know that H4 equals to HF plus X HFG, correct or not? So for that we have to find out HF value. We know H1 value is HF value, and X value we have to find out. X value is dryness fraction. Dryness fraction is equal to S4 minus or Sg minus Sf divided by Sfg. Here Sg equals to S3 or S, because S4 equals to S3. So which is 6.7428 minus 1.213 divided by 6.2434. Okay, equals to 0.886. That is a dryness fraction. Okay, always remember SF and SFG you have to find out for P1 75 kilopascal or P4 75 kilopascal table, that is saturated table, and S4 or Sg value you have to put from state 3, because S4 equals to S3. Okay, so after that you can find out the H4, which is HF plus X HFG, which is totally it will be 2403.2 kilojoule per kg. Okay, now you have to find out the efficiency. For the efficiency, what is the formula? 1 minus Q out divided by Q in. So Q in equals to H3 minus H2, you can find out the answer, and Q out equals to H4 minus H1, you can find out the answer. So now you got the efficiency, which is 26%. Next, otherwise you can find out the efficiency like W net equals to WT minus WP, and Q in, W net divided by Q in value you got, and W net you can find out WT minus WP. Here also you got the same answer, 26%. So your answer is correct. Okay. Hi friends, how are you? I think all are fine. So today I am going to tell you something about vapor power cycle, which is very important in TE2. Before vapor power cycle, first of all we have to know about power cycle. What is a power cycle? Okay, so power cycle means which is continuously convert heat energy into work, that is called power cycle. Okay, so generally we are considering two types of power cycle. One is vapor power cycle and another is gas power cycle. In our subject it is vapor power cycle. So what is vapor power cycle? Vapor power cycle means in which the working fluid is water or which can change its phase from the liquid